Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of Drummers Education Connection. I'm Bart Robley, and as usual, I'm here with my great friends Rick Stojak, Jeremy Steinkohler, and Chip Ritter. Today, we have one of the greatest minds in the history of the world.
Whoa! Wait, you're talking about me, right?
Yeah, oh, no, Jeremy's right up there in San Francisco. Yeah, no, we have from Kelly Concepts and the Kelly Shu. We got Jeff Kelly. Jeff, how are you this morning? Good to see you, my friend.
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for the invitation to be on the show. It's great to see all of you guys. Yeah, it's just awesome to be here. I really appreciate the interview and the time spent with you guys. Thanks.
Oh man, this is great. So how you're in Lincoln, Nebraska. How are things in Lincoln, Nebraska today?
Warmer than yesterday is about it. You know, when the winter months come around and the time changes, we pretty much go into the deep freeze around here. But things are going good. You know, here at the Kelly Shu Central, where things are rolling forward. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so great. Just how cold is it?
Yeah. Is it snowing?
No, it's not currently snowing. It's about 43 degrees.
Wow. Not bad.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. A couple of days ago, it was 5. So,
wow.
You know, yeah.
Wow. It's beach weather there now, right?
Kathleen's sunning herself out back. So.
Excellent. Well, for those of you guys who don't know what the Kelly Shu is or what Kelly Concepts is, they specialize in the world's greatest coffee cups, right?
It
says no. What the Kelly Shu is a fantastic internal microphone system, and I've got one here in one of my toms, and there you can see it from the bottom, mounted inside the tom. It's it's called the Kelly Shu because it looks like a horseshoe. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
And it holds a microphone inside, and this one's in one of my tom-toms. And I know originally, and Jeff will get into the whole story here, when he originally started the company, and I think mainly what the company is for a bass drum miking thing. But I know so many guys, I know so many drummers who do exactly what I do, and they have it, you know, on the inside of the bass drum and the toms, or I've seen Jeff has some mounted on the outside of the front head of the bass drum. There's a million different ways to use this thing. And and drummers being drummers, I mean, they kind of come up with these inventive ways to use them and mount them and everything like that. And it's one of my favorite things. It's an accessory for my kit. So my whole drum set is mic from the inside and wired, and I just love them. They're fantastic. So we'll start with this. Jeff, how did you come up with the idea of the Kelly Shu and turn it into this such a successful company? How did you come up with it?
Well, I was a local drummer here in Lincoln, Nebraska for a number of years, quite a while, and there's a little city down the road named Beatrice that we had a gig at, and we're playing in a back room of a bar with a concrete floor, and I didn't have a drum rug, and things were slipping and sliding, and the kick drum kept sliding against the microphone stand, you know, and it was giving us all kinds of problems and stuff, and I was fed up. That night, I was around here, people don't put a lot of thought into the stages, you know, and I'm sure it's everywhere, but there's limited space. I was always fighting for space for the microphone stand for the kick drum. And I just thought, man, if I could put this microphone inside of the drum and kind of have it all self-contained, you know, it would save me a lot of space and maybe some time too. So I went to a local hobby store and a couple of hardware stores and got some materials. And it was funny because after that problem, I actually went to sleep at night, and I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning, and I thought, man, I'm going to draw a couple of sketches of what I think would work, and I went back to sleep. And the next day, I built a prototype. Wow. So it was kind of actually came to me sort of in my sleep. I mean, it's the craziest thing, but it did. And from there, I just built a crude prototype, and it worked great for the rest of the weekend as far as the gigs go. Thought, man, you know, this is pretty cool. I should maybe see if I can expand on this. So I went to a local machine shop and made about 3 or 4 actual horseshoe shaped units.
Wow.
And I kind of got started that way, you know. Found some materials that really work well together to do what we had to do. Put it all together in a package and applied for a patent.
No
So
kidding, man.
that was in 2006.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. How did you come up with the idea for? I know you have a name for the cables. A lot of people will call them bungee cables, and they're not bungee. It's not. How did you design that, and how did you come up with that idea to mount it in the center of the drum? What was the thoughts with that?
I tried actual bungee cable at first on the prototypes.
Oh,
And
really?
what would happen is the nylon sheath around the elastic inside would pull away, and then you lost your support.
Okay.
So I went searching for some companies, and in the good old United States, I found a rubber company that was willing to provide me with solid rubber cord that would work with some hooks that I found that self crimp onto the end. And it just so happens that I found there are 2 right materials that work well together. Once you get that hook on the end of the support cord, it's really hard to pull it away. Usually the support cord breaks off in the end of the hook before it'll actually pull away if it's installed correctly. So it's really super durable. And you know, as in finding all of this stuff, I just put together a little package, and I thought I'll just sell a few to my buddies here in town, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, just sort of piecemeal it out there. And I think the first one that I actually ever sold was off of MySpace.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember that place? And
Yeah.
to some dude in England, you know. I mean, go figure. So thank the global power of the internet. So that's kind of where it all started. Yeah, my first sale was a guy in England. So
Wow.
yeah.
Now you have 2 different ones. You have the metal one, which is the Pro.
Yes, I have the Pro is right here.
Okay.
It's made out of aluminum, but we offer a limited lifetime warranty on the main mounting unit here for the Pro. It's a really solid, durable aluminum material, pretty much bulletproof, really. And then we have the Kelly Shu composite, which is this one. It's a 30% fiberglass reinforced nylon material that the shoe is made out of. Auto manufacturers use this material in some parts. Some firearms manufacturers use this stuff. It's pretty solid, really, really strong material. So that's the Kelly Shu composite, given the name. And this one's been really popular for the budget-minded weekend warriors, you know. Comes in at less than $60 in a store, so it's pretty affordable rig. So those 2 units handle your dynamic microphones that are designed to fit on a boom stand.
Right.
And so pretty much any microphone that's got your standard threading on the clip or the stand base will work on either one of those systems.
And do you have to drill holes in your shell?
You don't. The system utilizes the hardware screws that are inside of the drum already. So there are a leather strip, and I don't have one right here, with holes in each end. You remove a hardware screw from the inside of your drum, fold the strip over, and run the screw back through the holes. It gives you a little loop there to hook the support cord to. And those can just stay in there even if you remove the system out of the drum. They don't make any noise. They're made out of leather, and they can just stay inside of the drum indefinitely, really.
And do you have to use a proprietary microphone that you sell, or is it you can use any microphone you want?
No, any microphone that's designed to fit on a boom stand will work on the Kelly Shu Pro or the Kelly Shu composite.
And then Bart, did I see on your Tom that you could plug the XLR cable into the drum?
Yeah, and what I've done, that's I do my own work on my drums. So I don't, the only thing I really don't do is my bearing edges. I've got a friend of mine that does my bearing edges, but I put an XLR on mine, and all of them have the, yeah, and just and then solder it in. And so it's the panel mount. You can buy those, the ones that I use, and I've plugged this company before on the show, is GLS Audio, and they make everything. They make cables and panel mount stuff like that. So I get some of those and put those in the drum, and I get a little bit of shrink tubing, solder it up, run the shrink tubing over it, hit it with a heat gun, of whoop, you know, closes down around the cable and the thing, and then I put the shoe inside there and mic it up, and away you go. And what it does, go ahead, Jeff, you have something to say?
Well, we actually sell a pigtail unit that has the same setup as what you just described.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They're available. Yeah, they're available on kellyshu.com. We have a unit that comes with the socket like you just showed us, and 18 inches of cable, and then the female to connect inside. And we have one that I send out with the drill bits that you need to bore the hole, or you can order without the drill bits as well. So that's an accessory package that we have that's available on the website. And we just kind of started introducing, excuse me, a unit that goes through the air vent. That has a blanket on the outside and a little terminal block on the inside. It's called the Kelly Shu connectors, and all of the information for that product is also available on our website as well.
So that makes it so you don't have to drill a hole to get your mic cable in there.
That's correct. There's a bracket on the outside that works great with like a triple flange hoop. It just sandwiches in between the tension rod and your drum hoop. And then that just holds the XLR connector there. Some of the lighting systems that you see maybe for drum kits also kind of use the same style of bracket.
Jeff, do you have a background in engineering or product design or anything? Or did you just...
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when this all started, I mean, I just thought, man, this is a cool idea, you know, and maybe I can build on this. And, you know, that's kind of where it all started. I started going to the NAMM shows out in Bart's neck of the woods, and met Bart and Chip there. I can't really say that I've met you, Jeremy. I don't know if we've met in person, or Rick, you either, but good to meet you now, of course. But the NAMM shows have been great for us, especially being kind of landlocked in Nebraska, you know.
Yeah.
And so you started your company in 2006?
Yes, I did.
And now, how many? I don't know if this is an okay question to ask, but you sold a couple out of your, you know, in the beginning. How many units do you sell now a year?
Oh, geez, you know, it all kind of depends, because we also have like the Kelly Shu flats as well for like the boundary microphones and stuff. So the total is kind of a mystery. I can tell you, since I started, each one of these has 10 grommets in the holes for sound isolation, rubber grommets.
Okay.
I've put in over 160,000 grommets with my thumbs.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're building this all on your own then?
Yes. This right here is the best tool for inserting the grommets.
Oh my God.
My wife, Kathleen, and I run this whole show by ourselves. So we don't have any employees.
Oh my God.
We do it all from here. This is the global distribution network for the Kelly Shu. I package everything myself. I do all the shipping, janitor, you know, clerical. My wife does that kind of stuff. She's good at that. So yeah, we've been great. You know, it's been just a really grassroots style thing that we do here.
So it's literally, you've gone from, it was something, you know, it was a necessity, you know, necessity is the mother of invention, and it's turned into this global thing that you sell all over the world, obviously, and you sell who knows how many a year, but now it is literally how you make your living, correct?
Well, yes, it is a portion of my living. You know, everybody always has to have a couple irons in the fire. You know what I mean? But it's primarily my 7 days in a row day job. You know, I work union stagehands here in the area in Omaha and Lincoln, so I'm a member of the IATSE stagehands here in 2 cities. So big shout out to my brothers and sisters out there working the gigs. Thank you very much. Union proud.
That's awesome, man.
That is
Way to
cool.
go.
Kevin
Yep.
Lehman comes in and says, nice, I have an Audix D6 on a Kelly Shu and his 20-inch Gretsch bass drum. Great system. It works wonderfully. What's up, Kevin?
Thank you.
Hey, Kev.
Right on,
you.
Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? You know, it's funny. It's sitting right here beside me. I can't move the camera. I have a Gretsch 20-inch bass drum with a Kelly Shu and an Audix D6 in it. Same setup, man.
Does it work wonderfully?
Oh, it does, man. Absolutely. And you know what? I got to give a shout out to this because, again, I mean, this is my studio setup here in the house. But I mean, I take this stuff on the road, and I have for years. And you know, it really does. It holds up. You know, the rubber doesn't break. You know, I think I've had one strap break over the years, and that's, you know, in and out of cases, in and out of a trailer, and
I've got a
falling
question.
off, and you know, everything.
I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yes, go ahead.
I know that, and I'm no sound engineer, but I did during COVID sort of get in. I set my home set up with microphones for the first time and got an interface and learning, you know, just the basics of recording and getting into Logic so I could do some tracks. And, you know, as I've done some research, I found that, you know, the placement of the bass drum microphone is a big deal and much debated among audio engineers. You know, do you put it in the kick? Do you put it up against the batter head? Do you put it outside the kick? Do you put it halfway in the hole? If you've got a ported reso head with your bass drum mount, can you change the position of the microphone relative to the heads?
The thing that I've found that I tell most people that pose the same question is that there is a lot of adjustment you can make with the mounting unit being just centered in the drum.
Gotcha.
You can flip the mounting unit around so that your adjustment slot is facing either downstage or upstage, so you have some adjustment there. And this is all without changing your support cord system at all. You just 180 the microphone mounting unit inside the drum. You can flip it upside down to get your microphone clip either up higher in the kick or lower. Like say with a D6, it works great. If you put the microphone clip upside down on our mounting tab, like right here, and then your microphone is sort of living outside of the Kelly Shu instead of inside of the shoe shape. And that also will offset the microphone a little bit inside of the drum. And then, of course, where you focus the microphone's polar pattern makes a huge difference. And so if you take all those factors into account, you should be able to find a sweet spot just by having the microphone mounting unit just centered in the drum.
Makes sense. Yeah, so you got quite a number of options, even just with the one unit, in terms of how you place your microphone. You can get all different kinds of EQ, whatever patterns or whatever different.
Wow. You can. And the nice thing about this system is once you get you find that sweet spot, you lock it down. It cannot move out of position. The weak spot usually is kind of between the microphone and the clip itself. Like say with an Audix D6, for example, just a tip for all the users of Audix D6. It's friction fit in the clip. Great system, but it's friction fit. And the microphone's slippery. It's anodized, with a gloss coating. So what I usually do is take one wrap of gaff tape and just wrap around the stem, put it into the clip, and then take a zip tie and just zip tie around the clip so it clamps down onto the microphone stem. And that secures the microphone inside of the clip for you. Just a security tip, if you have the microphone inside so you don't have to get in there and mess with it.
You know what the number one factor in getting the good sound is?
What?
Technique.
Wait, Rick, what are you saying? So you have to actually learn to play the drums to get a good
you
sound?
have to learn it. Yeah.
Oh, forget it. That's too much work, man.
I thought the Shu did all that for you.
There's an instruction sheet that comes with it.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, what about the various size toms? Now, maybe I missed it, but are there different shoes for, say, a 10-inch tom compared to an 18-inch floor?
The largest drum shell diameter that really you can comfortably fit the Kelly Shu into is a 14.
Oh, okay.
So a 12-inch tom is a little out of range. A 10 and an 8-inch tom. I mean, in my opinion, there's just not enough environment inside of a little drum shell like that to really get a good sound quality having a microphone inside of there anyway.
Yeah.
Being that the Kelly Shu was sort of designed primarily as a kick drum accessory, using the larger toms and the gong drum and utilizing this system inside of those larger toms has enough environment inside of the drum where it's going to provide you a good tonal quality.
Okay, so I can't install a Kelly Shu into my singer's throat so he doesn't stop talking.
Well, you can.
And a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, but that's a one-time installation, Rick.
It is. There's no money back on that. There's no refunds.
You won't give the money back on that if it's covered in phlegm. Huh?
Yeah.
So another quick question: the rubber bands, or what did you call them again? The part that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do they attach to the inside of the drum? Do they just stick on?
Okay. No.
There's a right here. I don't know if I can get it at an angle you can see or not. There we go. There's the rubber grommets that Jeff's talking about right there.
160,000 of them. Yep. Right.
And just so you know, too, and look, there's the zip tie on the Audix microphone that he was talking about. Although I didn't do the gaff tape.
Right.
And,
does a good job by itself, but yes.
And incidentally, this is a 12-inch drum.
Oh, okay. So see that it's pretty tight, and it does take a little bit of special thought process and approach to do that 12-inch tom like that. So I don't really advertise that because I do answer pretty much every call that comes in since I'm the only person here, and I always welcome people to call me, with questions because it's such a unconventional style system, that people have questions about it, and I always welcome people to call. I'll always answer a question if somebody has one.
They're gonna call you and go, "Do you actually know Chip Ritter?"
Yeah, right.
No. Cool.
Exactly.
Jeff and Bart, you guys who use this system in your kits, do you get audio engineers who had never seen it before and like, oh man, this is amazing, fantastic, I don't need to set up your mics, you just plug in the cable and go?
100% of the engineers that I work with love it. I have every once in a while run into somebody and I'll say, the kit's internally mic'd, and you can, and I always tell them the same thing. I'm like, you can use my mics, they're all Audix, and then I tell them the models that are inside the drums, and I say, the kit sounds great. You can use them if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine with me too. Because some sound engineers are pretty particular on wanting to use their stuff. But
very much so. We have learned that since 2006. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and so that's a personal preference thing. But I would venture to say 98%, 99%, most everybody's like, oh yeah, I'll do it, and they plug into it, and the comments that I always get that they absolutely love it. I hear your kit's the best kit that I've ever worked with. They talk about how they like the isolation because the mics are inside the drums. There's no bleed from stuff coming into the mics to the toms. The external mics that I use are my snare mic, which is on a regular snare stand attached to my snare drum stand, or mic stand on my snare drum stand. And then I tell them to provide the hat mics and the overheads. But they also love the fact that at the end of the night, they don't have to pack up their mics. They just unplug the kit and so it makes life a lot easier on them all the way around. I've had one guy, and Jeff, like you just said, every once in a while there's that one guy,
Sure.
he has to use his mics, and I'm fine with that. I've had one guy that was like, oh, well, the mics just aren't that great. You don't have good mics in there. And I'm like, well, they're all Audix. Oh, well, then, it's just
Yeah.
some people you're not going to make happy, and whatever.
No,
Right,
we have ran into that. And the system's really been accepted widely, from most. We've never really done the approach of hey, I've got something that I think will work better for what you're doing, because I'm no professional audio engineer. I started out as a drummer, and I have designed a product that I think is useful. But we've never really tried to change the minds of anybody. It's kind of just happened on its own slowly over time.
Mhm.
We haven't spent a lot of money on advertising and stuff like that. It's always kind of been sort of word of mouth, and like I mentioned before, sort of grassroots type style. And it's better off drummer talking to drummer anyways than designer talking to drummer or audio engineer. Because I have the product. It's my company, and they'll take more advice from their buddies than they sometimes will from me. The nice thing about me is being at shows and stuff is that I can demonstrate the product and answer questions, like I said, and stuff. Fill in the blanks.
Jeff, you're talking about a grassroots company, and you're saying this is all in house and such a small deal, but the change and impact that it's already had on the drumming world is huge, because I've gone to your website and looked at your artist roster, and it's just immense. Some of the most famous drummers in the world use the Kelly Shu, and it's just, if you guys get a chance, go to the website. We posted a comment, and go look at some of the artists. There's Eric Singer from Kiss, Bobby Janzarnbach, David Northrup, Kenny Arnoff. There's just, the list goes on and on. I always got to have a question for you. How do you handle the A&R side of it? Like, what's your approach when it comes to meeting a famous drummer that you'd like to turn on to the Kelly Shu?
A lot of them have just kind of trickled in from us doing the trade shows and stuff. A lot of people that come up to the booth have either heard about the product before, or their drum tech a lot of times is kind of the one that brings them along. At a certain level, it's the drum tech that does kind of the work, and not taking anything away from the artists themselves. It's just that they don't have time to do that. So their drum tech is a lot of times on some of the bigger names is who we more deal with than the artists themselves. But a lot of those people that you mentioned, also we have a good personal relationship with a lot of those people as well. But the A&R side of things is that we appreciate people from the very top of the list all the way down to the weekend warriors. I mean, every single unit that goes out the door is doing good for the next unit that may go out the door. So we accept endorsements from the mid-level players and the weekend warriors too, because I mean their word is just as good as anyone's to say how the product works for them. And sometimes I have to apologize to anybody that might have taken notice to this or whatever, but like I said, I do all the packaging, the assembly, the shipping, all the clerical stuff is done by my wife Kathleen, and sometimes the artist roster and the A&R side of things kind of falls short a little bit. I wish I could more keep in touch with the people that helped us all get here. And if I could thank each one personally every single time I sell a unit, I certainly would. So I offer, some discounts to people that are going to, do a little bit of work for us and a little bit of foot soldiering, to tell the next guy and things. It's worth it to us, and especially since we don't spend a lot of money on advertising. It's good to have those people out there in the field being your army, to cover the bases, work some battles for you,
Right on, Jeff. And for somebody who's watching right now, where is the best place to go get your Kelly Shu? Is it just from the website direct, or where do they get their Kelly Shu from?
There is a dealer network link at the website that you can click on, and maybe you can utilize your favorite dealer. We have a lot of the top names, you know, the big online companies, Full Compass, Casio Interstate, Sweetwater Sound, Musician's Friend, all those places carry our product.
Right.
We also do direct to consumer from the website. And if you have a favorite dealer, maybe a local drum shop or something, if you're listening, that does not carry the Kelly Shu, go in and suggest they possibly reach out and get a few in the store, so that
Right
we can expand our dealer network and make it available to anybody that wants to come in and give it a go. So
Cool.
Hey Jeff, I have a quick question.
yes.
Are there videos available on how to install and how it all works? Is it on your website, or is there a YouTube channel?
There are a few. So for some reason, my audio just kind of dropped a little bit. I don't know. I can't really hear you. But there are a few do-it-yourself videos of people that have taken the initiative to show how they've installed their Kelly Shu. One thing that I really would like to do is to expand on our YouTube channel and start making some instructional videos on some different aspects of the Kelly Shu and the installation of said Kelly Shu.
Yeah, Bart, get to work.
But
To work,
Yeah, I
Bart.
know, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay, Jeff?
it's pretty low. For some reason, my volume just kind of dropped out.
Really?
Not sure why. I tried to turn it up here.
Yeah, nothing. I don't think anything changed on our end. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm going to ask this question, and hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah, I hope so.
You also have a way of mounting the Kelly Shu on the outside of the kick drum. I saw at the NAMM Show a couple of years ago.
Yes, we do.
And that's just a normal shoe, but it's mounted on the outside for the front of the batter head, or what?
Yes, there's also, with each system comes instructions to put the system on the outside of the drum, like you just described, Bart. That approach to using the system is more for, like, say, a house kit for like a house of worship, or a house kit that's in a bar or a music club that doesn't move around a lot.
Okay.
That is just kind of stationary. And a lot of the audio engineers kind of like the microphone on the outside anyway. And they've been like, well, yeah, I love the internal approach, but I don't like the primary kick drum inside of the primary microphone inside of the kick drum. So taking that into account, is what spurred the conception of the Kelly Shu flats, which is for the boundary microphones that people generally just lay inside of the drum in the bottom.
The bricks.
So seeing that a lot of people were stuck on still using the microphone stand is when we came up with the flats. We have them to fit 3 of the most widely used boundary microphones across the board, as far as for kick drum amplification goes. We have one for Shure Beta 91 and 91A. We have a unit that is for the Sennheiser E901s, and we have a unit that's for the old school Shure SM91s that have the mini XLR cable connection and the transformer in the power cable.
Hey Jeff,
Yes.
has anyone started trying to use these on congas?
On pardon me again?
On congas.
Congas.
Yeah,
I've had the question before. It would take a little bit of modification to the drum shell, I think, because the conga tuning hardware is located so close to the head that you don't really have enough room in there to compensate for the support cord system. So it's kind of a different approach. I've had people put these on cajones. I've had people put them in grand pianos. I've had people use Kelly Shus inside of like isolation cabinets for like, say, a guitar rig for some of the bigger shows.
Yeah.
They'll install Kelly Shu inside of the isolation cabinet. Shuba is a good one. Kelly Shuba. They
Shuba.
take and put the Kelly Shu around the bell of a sousaphone.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, and hook the support
Really?
cord around the bell of the sousaphone, and it becomes a Kelly Shuba, and the microphone. Then they can
Nice.
yeah.
I
So
love it.
lot of different uses really, and all things that just kind of come about from the conception and the time spent on the market with this product.
Jeff,
Yeah,
it's
that's
super impressive that was started off as just an idea, that you just, I don't know if you know this, but this is also similar to the story of how Vic Firth got started. He was a percussionist in the Boston Symphony, a timpanist, and couldn't find mallets and sticks that he wanted. So he started making them on a lathe in his garage and stole them to his friends and to fellow symphony, timpanists. And then, demand grew and product grew, and man, it's just amazing how, you built what you built. Congrats.
Well, thank you. It's been challenging at times. It's been a tough go sometimes, but man, it's just at the end of the day, I am more humbled and flattered than I can even imagine, even put into words, because you get a phone call and it's Scott Travis, it's like, hi Scott, how are you doing? It's like, wow, this is, and all from an idea that I had, which is, kind of a neat how it's all sort of evolved.
Beautiful. That's great.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered, or have you ever approached any of the microphone companies about doing like a package deal, like with Shure or Sennheiser?
I have, and we've entered into some agreements with a couple of microphone companies that I sort of favor. I like things made in the U.S. Since we're U.S. based and everything. So I kind of favor a couple of the microphone companies that are U.S. based. But
which are
I like Heil microphones.
Yeah.
Heil is a really good company. Bob Heil over there is really a personable guy. I mean, we've connected on a good level just because we're both sort of grassroots type thing, sort of smaller companies.
Nice.
I was working with Cliff Castle when he was CEO over there at Audix, and I'm sure you know him, Bart, or knew of him.
Yeah.
And we had an agreement with them where we would sell a combo package with a Kelly Shu and Audix D6. When Cliff stepped down as CEO, they kind of made some changes at the company, and that deal kind of went away. Not saying that I wouldn't entertain and invite, a cooperation between a couple of companies. It's always good to hear what possibilities are and what could be on the table. I'm always open for negotiation and phone calls, and to align with someone with a little bit more power than what we have as far as client base goes would really be helpful.
Right.
But if that doesn't happen, then we'll just keep plugging away, and I'll keep putting those grommets in with the #1 tool right here.
That's fantastic.
So Jeff, are you still drumming?
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Are you still drumming?
When we started this company, I was doing live shows here in the local area. When I started getting a lot more involved with IATSE and the stagehands around here, my ability to take gigs at a local tavern or club kind of declined quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm more focused on running the company and working those gigs, as opposed to trying to play drums in a band. Around here, it would be just local clubs anyways, pretty much. It's kind of hard to expand out in Nebraska, although 311 did a great job of that.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yes,
So it's possible,
Yes.
Another one that comes to mind is Chip Davis from Mannheim Steamroller. He made a good name for himself out of Nebraska too. But,
Yes, sir.
I miss playing live, Chip. I really do, and I've been doing some gigs with a gal around here by the name of D.E.C. She's a really nice singer, great guitar player, and she does some smaller gigs, some wineries and stuff. So Kathleen, my wife, and I have been playing a couple of gigs with her on the elderly people slot 6 to 9, so we can be in bed by 10.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, it works a little better for us. But,
So how have you
we
fared
actually
during the
have
pandemic?
have a practice later today. So
That's so cool. You're still, it sounds like you're keeping your a pulse on drumming still, and it's just got to be really fun to play a gig and have it mic'd with your system. That's got to be.
it is. It takes me away kind of from the everyday dealings of doing the business and stuff, and it's an interesting subject matter as far as the business goes. But just like every other business, it's got its duties that you have to fulfill, to keep it going.
Sure.
So when we started this, I was no business person either. Never owned a business before. Don't know a first thing about it. I guess I'm going to dive in and find out how to do it, and everything that we've pretty much acquired and accomplished, we've kind of learned on our own. We've sort of just did research and find out what works best for us. Go with it.
Now you have a local machine shop there in Nebraska that does your machining for you?
I do. There's a company here in town that made the molds for all of the Kelly Shu flats and the Kelly Shu composite. So these are manufactured right here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
The packaging, the clamshell packaging that we went to is done right here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
The printing on the inserts is done by the company that does the packaging. So the rubber products, like I mentioned before, are acquired from a company in the U.S. We do import a couple of the components for the system just because it's our only economical choice.
Okay.
But what I can say is that every single unit that goes out the door, pretty much I've put my hands on.
So you've literally, like, you put the microphone mount in, you put the rubber grommets in.
Yeah.
You put. I remember when I was texting you about this, you said something about it's breaking up the monotony of counting, hooks and putting it in the package. So you do all that stuff there at the house.
Yes. We get our hooks, the hooks in bags of 1,000, and of course you have to break it down into the product packaging.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of counting out of the number 16 and of the number 20. we count that a lot.
So you're really good at counting verses and choruses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's your basic count for a drummer. I guess that's all you really need to know. Do it 5 times, you got 20, right?
That's all I know anyway. I only go to 4.
You get to 4 and you get to 4 and start over again.
I have somebody I want to have say hi. Is that okay?
Of course.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Is it Ringo?
Look who it is. Look at
Ringo.
It's Ringo again.
Look,
There's
it's Kathleen. This is Kelly Shu.
Hey,
Look at that.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Happy 2022.
Happy
2022.
Thanks for letting us borrow Jeff.
He's all yours.
Kathleen and I've met a few times at the NAMM Show. She was always very nice to me when I first got on the roster, and it's good to see you again.
Remember.
Yeah, it's very
Love
good
our
to see you
trade
again.
shows. It's very helpful, and I miss everyone a lot. We're a bit geographically challenged here in Nebraska, but we'll get out again soon.
Yes,
All the
yes,
best
we
to
will.
you.
Yeah.
You bet. Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it so much.
Thank
You bet. Now
You
go
bet.
count some of them hooks.
you. Yeah.
That's kind of how we do things around here.
That's
Jeff.
fantastic.
Jeff, how have you fared during the epidemic?
It's been kind of a weird dynamic because we've had a really great year as far as sales go.
Cool.
You know, I think a lot of people are kind of tinkering at home, like you said, Jeremy. You know, you put together your studio and stuff during COVID.
Yep.
I think a lot of people have done that, and they have, you know, kind of reached out to us for a solution to either save space in the little tiny, you know, maybe corner studio that they have at home, or whatever the case may be. But you know, thank goodness that it's been going great, you know, through the pandemic. I just hope that you know, that all of us and everybody that we know is following the guidelines and helping us get out of this big mess. So,
Yeah.
but no, it's been really good, man. It's really been amazing.
Jeff,
That's
I've got a question
fantastic.
for you. Talking about the NAMM show, sounds like
Yeah.
that's a big opportunity for you to network and get the word out and turn more people onto your products. How do you prepare for the NAMM show? Like, yeah, do you have a plan? I mean, how much product do you bring? Do you have people? I don't know. Yeah, how does it go for you?
Well, we usually do kind of a dry run here at home. We'll sort of set up the exhibit, make a list of what we might need. When we go to places like Anaheim to that NAMM show, we don't really take a whole lot of product with us, just because it's a long way to travel with it and everything. We take enough props and exhibit materials to try and show everything what we're capable of. Although that Bart mentioned before, there's like countless ways to install and use this product, and it's almost impossible to explain everything. You know, we like to try and bring something new to the table when we do a show, you know, and sort of expand the product line, you know, and kind of keep things moving in that direction. But we have to ship from Nebraska and then get everything back here. So
Right.
It's kind of a logistical challenge. Once you get there, though, man, it's great to be set up and say hi to everyone and be able to tell people something about the product that they might not otherwise have known, you know?
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Well, I'll
I like
definitely
you've got that big, you have an RCI bass drum, right?
Yes, sir. We do. We have 2 RCI kick drums, as a matter of fact. Thank you, Romano, for the excellent service always. But yes, we have a 24-inch kick that we take to the shows and a 22-inch kick that we take to the shows. And thanks to the craftiness of Kathleen, we've put them on Lazy Susans, although we haven't been able to power them so they move on their own yet. It's a dream of
have to
hers.
spin it every few seconds.
Yeah, we spin it around, you know, and kind of get people.
You hire a guy just to stand there and spin it, right? That's what you gotta do.
Yeah. Or we hire people, you know, like you to come over and we'll give you some candy or something.
Yeah.
Make you
Get some
spin
candy.
for 2
Here,
times.
stand here for 8 hours and do this, please.
Yeah. Show starts at 10, Bart. Show up on time.
Right, exactly.
Just like chopping wood, Bart.
Yeah,
It's easy.
exactly.
Well, you know, yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious. Well, I'll definitely be stopping by the booth in June if you guys are going to be there.
We're considering the possibility of going out in June.
Yeah, hopefully
You know,
things will be chilled out
obviously
by
we
then.
have to weigh the options as far as what the environment looks like at that point. Who knows, you know, as far as that goes. But we'd sure love to be there, and we sure like to be there when we are able to make it.
Have you guys ever considered going to the PASIC convention a little closer to home?
We have, but it seems like it always landed so close to the January NAMM show, and that was kind of our big spend, you know, our big push every year was January show, and to do those 2 shows kind of so close together is a little bit of an economic burden, you know, as far as that goes for a company like ours. But I think it would be good. You know, I know they focus a lot more there on that show with drum and bugle corps type things, which we really are sort of out of that demographic. as far as addressing the drums that can
Well,
utilize our product, because you're on the move in a marching band as opposed to
I wouldn't say that
assistant
they
sound
focus
system.
more on that. I mean, it just that it covers sort of all the different branches of the tree. There's definitely a strong drum set contingency and focus at the PASIC show, in addition to the concert percussion, in addition to marching band and stuff. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's been really expanding lately, and I never say never. Not from here. I've learned that word really shouldn't exist. But it could be a possibility that we might do a PASIC show here coming up in the near future.
I get it. Makes sense. You gotta go where you get the most bang for your buck, and probably the NAMM show, you're going to reach a lot more people.
Yeah, and it being global is kind of nice too.
Right.
It's the Europe Pearl Drums in Europe handles all of Europe for us. They're our distributor there.
Oh, cool.
So we've
Pearl
got a
is?
really solid connection with them, and they're taking care of all the footwork there in Europe for us. So
Nice.
that's a big market for them to help us cover. As opposed to if I were my own distributor, it'd be kind of hard to reach those places.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have that, and we have a gentleman by the name of Simon down in Australia that handles that country for us. We don't currently have any distribution across Canada. We don't have any distribution in South America and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to reach that market as well. But we're working on it, chipping away at things.
Mm-hmm.
Tip of the iceberg type thing. There's always more to see than meets the eye.
Right.
There's always more bass drums to anoint with your technology.
Oh, he got it in there. He got it in there. There it is. There it is. That's anointing with technology. That's Chip's. That was actually Rick and Chip things. That's their thing.
I saw the show.
Yeah.
I saw the show. So yes, that's good that you were able to work that in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Job,
Man,
oh man.
I was getting worried. I mean,
was
we're getting
too.
close to the hour, and I'm like,
That was like
Right,
a
when
level,
is it going to happen? Type thing.
man. That
we
was
might go down in flames on this show. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right.
that was like a level 5 difficulty too. That was really well done, Chip.
Yeah. Man.
Well, think about it, man. You come up with this idea, you start your own company, and then you build it one day at a time, and you're still in your house and you're doing it on your own terms. What a story that, you know what I mean?
Really.
What an American company. I love it. I think it's
love
awesome.
that.
Here.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
like I said, man, thank you very much. I mean, it's really been humbling as far as the people that we've connected with. Some of the best in the business are convinced that this is the best way to do what we offer it to do. And the nice thing about that I've learned being on the other side of the entertainment industry and working shows like I do is that if something didn't work right once, they wouldn't use it.
Right.
They wouldn't take the chance of something not working during the show.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Everything's got to be dead on. And there's a durability story that I'd like to share. We got connected with the Wall Live tour. Roger Waters. And they did a world tour, and I think they did like 238 shows of the Wall Live. And we were outfitted the main kick drum and the B stage kick drum with our product. And they got to Australia, and the only problem they had was they lost one of the threaded pieces for one of the microphones. It stayed with the microphone in the US when they took the mic package out of the drums before they shipped across to go to Australia. But the mounting units held up dead on for all 238 shows. The drums flew all over the world. Never once had a failure. Never once had anything to complain about. So that was a good durability factor there.
Yes,
Cool.
it is. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't. even come close to that. But I go through the same thing when the band's busy, just in and out of trucks and trailers, and again, not even close to that. But
Oh, geez, the
literally,
drums take a lot bigger beating in the trailer than you would ever give them on stage.
oh yeah, just rolling from the and
Oh,
my
yeah.
stuff goes in bags, and then the bags go inside of flight cases, and then they get rolled out to the trailer.
Yep.
And man, every once in a while something will fall. I mean, it's the road, I mean,
Yes, sir.
yeah, it just, they hold up. They're fantastic. And just like Chip said, just the fact that you came up with this idea and it's turned into this whole thing is just outstanding. It's incredible. And I my hat's off to you, Jeff. And the product, it really is. It's great. And you guys are awesome. Every time you go by the booth, Jeff's, hey Bart, how are you? Really nice people. And that's also
Oh man, thank you. We appreciate that. It's the old Midwestern mentality,
Right.
Mhm.
Right, exactly.
Right on.
Hey, really quick, I have this
Yes.
this is a side note. I said at the beginning of this, my wife and I just moved into our new house, and we're
Oh, yeah,
purging and
yeah.
getting rid of stuff. And I have this right here that I'm going to give away. So we got to come up with a question of sorts, to a trivia question to give this away. So we need a trivia question about the art of playing brushes. It's a great DVD with Adam Nussbaum and Steve Smith. They interviewed 5 different drummers playing brushes. Fantastic DVD set.
Steve
I've got 2
Smith,
of them.
that guy doesn't suck.
Oh man, these guys are all
No,
phenomenal. You got
certainly
Joe
does
Morello, Charlie Persip, Locke, Billy Hart, and Ben Riley on here. Great DVD. So
on.
so
I
I'm
got
gonna
a
give that
question.
away today. Okay, what's the question? Go.
Okay, what were the original brushes?
Oh, well, they were made
what
by
did
the
people
Kelly
use?
Shu. Actually, that was Jeff. I said something about brushes, and Jeff goes, "Yeah, Bart knows how to open and close them. He's got it all figured out."
They actually were fly swatters.
Seriously,
Yeah, seriously.
no kidding.
Really?
Yeah,
Never heard
fly
that before.
swatters. Yep. People took the fly swatters and went, shh.
Wow.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I'm gonna go try
Wow.
that out.
Interesting.
Yeah, you get bugs on your drum. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so here let's do this. Okay, I got to give me. And who played drums on Timeout?
Oh, that's a good one.
There you go. So there's a give me. If somebody answers that, I will personally mail this to you. I'll drop it in the mail to you in the next couple of days. So somebody answer that before the end of the show, which we're coming up on, getting really close. Who played drums on Timeout? You can't Google.
Who played drums on Timeout?
Yeah. And if you answer that question, and look, there goes Chip Googling. There, I said you can't Google. Look at
You
me.
can't win it, Chip.
I'm looking forward to winning the DVD.
Oh, we have a
I'm
winner.
doing
We have a
everything I
winner.
can to win
We
it.
have a winner. Who is it? Let me guess.
I'm
Yes.
Jim.
Jim Royal.
Yeah.
He wins
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Jim Royal. Congratulations, Jim Royal.
Yes, sir. Timeout. The
That
great
drum
Joe
solo on Take
Morello.
5, that's a classic. One of the most
Yes, it is.
best understated drum solos of all time.
Oh man, there's a
Wait a
live
minute,
video.
I think something's fishy about this. You probably set this up with Jim Royal before the
Ah.
show started.
Yeah.
I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, Jim, get ready, man. Get ready. Here's what we're doing. I'm going to give you a free DVD, man.
Hey, Jeff.
Great DVD.
Jeff, I have one more
Really?
question.
Yes, sir.
Does the Kelly Shu work on an electronic drum?
No, unfortunately not.
I didn't think so.
We wish we could cover that demographic as well, but I think the electrons have us beat.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah, makes
Oh, well.
sense.
Well, you could
no.
just set one on the drum set,
Yeah, I mean, you can. Hey, still, every drummer needs one. Whether they play electronics
Jeff.
or not. Just because they look cool. I mean, look.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
They
Just
do,
mount
they
it to the
do.
front. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Hey, Jeff, I got a question. What
Okay.
are you looking forward to for what's new for Kelly Shu in 2022? What are you looking forward to?
I'd like to use the first part of the year to improve on some connections. I'd like to start expanding on our YouTube channel. Maybe make that a little bit more available.
Right on.
Keep the website going, www.kellyshu.com.
Yep.
Everybody check that if you want to know more about the Kelly Shu. And like I said, I'm always available to talk to potential current or future clients.
Very good.
Great.
Very good.
Jeff, thanks
Yeah,
for coming
well,
on the show.
Yeah, Jeff,
thank
thank you
you
so
for
much.
having me. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and great thing you're doing over there. And we'll
Thank
be
you
seeing
again.
you all.
Oh,
Yeah, good
man.
luck to you.
Thank you.
Our
Bye,
pleasure. Good luck to
Kathleen.
you
Thank
guys.
Stay warm
Bye,
over there.
guys.
Thank
Thanks
you,
again
guys.
for all your support. This is
You
a great
bet.
show. Love to listen.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thumbs
much.
up to the grommets.
Hey, yeah, exactly. So
Grommets.
now, if everything goes right next week, if he's feeling better, Tony Pia will be on. I'm still not 100% sure. I haven't heard back from him. He's been
Yeah, get
feeling
well
kinda-
soon, Tony. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear you're under the weather.
Tony's a great guy. Yeah, Tony uses the shoe, right?
You know what? I'm not real sure. I am not positive on that.
Well, if
Maybe
he
we'll
No,
find
we're
out
thinking
after
about
next week's show.
when he comes on the show, I'll put the screws to him, man. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Jeff,
We hit him up. It'll be better coming from you than me.
I'll mention it to him. So anyway, so hopefully Tony's feeling better, and we'll have him on next week. We'll be seeing him real soon. But anyway, for right now, thank you so much for watching Drummers Education Connection, and we will see you guys next week, whether Tony is here or not. We will be here.
Yes.
That sounds good, man. Thanks again for having me.
All
And
right.
goodbye
Thanks,
from
everybody.
chilly
Thank you,
Nebraska.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks,
Okay,
Jeff.
thank you.
We'll see you.
Good.
This is where